Cursor is like a wrapper over all these models. And Cursor itself is charging a premium on ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and a whole list of like common models. They're like a tax on a tax. Then you actually have OpenAI and Anthropic. You can go direct and get their models for them. What's the layer underneath? Well, then the layer underneath is like, okay, maybe we can find cheaper model providers. Then you have your Chinese models, open source models. This is like 𝗵𝗍, Minimax, Qwen, DeepSeek. You also have some other free models coming out from NVIDIA. The next place to go is actually you go direct to the inference providers and you actually host your own models on there. But ultimately, what people are trying to understand is like, at what point in that is it worth the fight for the benefit of cost? Cursor, you just basically put your credit card in and you get access to all the models. And then they'll say that their harness is the product. What does that mean? It means the fact that like you can connect all your MCPs, you can tag files, you can set up skills and workflows. Claude Code and Codex are also a harness, right? If you use open code, you see it's kind of not like perfect because what they're finding out is not just the fact they're using 5.5, it's like the fact that it loops in a certain way. It comes with out-of-the-box skills. The UI looks a little different. And so part of this is like they're trying to promote the fact that the harness is the product. So the model is still the ultimate thing that holds all of the cost. Let's take the car analogy and let's compare BMW and Mercedes. But let's just assume for example's sake that they're both built on Rolls-Royce engines. Rolls-Royce is the engine provider. But yes, you wrap it around, one place is leather, one has something else, different cup holders, different settings. One has the paddle shifters, one's this. But I would say in AI world, the cost of moving from paddle shifter to stick is actually basically zero now. You could wake up one day and say, I want paddle shifter, you can get paddle shifter. Which means ultimately what is the core cost is actually the engine. Because at any moment you can wake up and say, I want the Mercedes today, I want the BMW today, but you can't touch the engine. From OpenAI, I'm basically renting the engine. What if I go to like an inference provider and actually host my engine there? Then you're leasing it, right? Or you could actually buy the parts and build your own engine. But what you're finding out is there's not like a really great answer, because if you buy your parts, now you have to hire engine makers. You have to now host it. There's not that many places to do that. So what you're finding is because there is a supply constraint, the model providers are able to ratchet up the price. There's no other game in town. You can go buy NVIDIA H100s. You can rack those all up, string those all together. But now you have to become an infrastructure engineer. Now you have to become a hardware engineer. Now you have to know how to do cooling. So everything is upstream of that supply constraint. And every step of the way, things are getting more expensive. Companies now have to make a decision. Do I just go with the model providers, which are going to be 20 times more expensive? Or where do I sit? Should I host my own models on Azure? Should I host my own models through some private inference provider? Should I rent a rack in a data center? Should I build a data center? You have to do this like ROI analysis to understand like where you want to sit either, but it's so hard because the prices are changing very rapidly. And the easiest thing to do is use just OpenAI at the top. And that is also the most expensive decision. Every decision after that takes orders of magnitude more time to figure out, and expertise. Because there's only two big players in town, they're just gonna...
They can set the price.
Yeah. You need to know that there are other options. So there are these companies that are doing private inference. You need to go explore those options. But first you need to understand like how many tokens are even getting used at your company. What is the usage profile for you to even do a cost analysis? But you are going to find that simply going to OpenAI is going to be the most expensive ticket in town. But many people don't, they don't know that there are other options. Second, they also should just do basic prompt caching. They should do basic model routing. There are ways for you to reduce the cost by 90% through ways that OpenAI and Anthropic have features for, but people are just not using it. If you never turn on the EV and you've just been running gas on sport mode this whole time, you're just 2 buttons away from the EV. There are companies now that are wielding their technology to get such a high ROI. And I'm moving ours off of Cursor because I'm like, oh my God, they're a tax on top of a tax. Like, let's explore these other models. Let's explore private inference. And it's my job to explore those things so we can bring the best of the best to clients. But many clients just need to know that there's options. This is a huge value chain. Think about like gas. Someone is drilling for gas in West Texas right now. But think of even before they drill for gas, someone has to get the permit. Someone then has to bring the machinery. Someone has to bring their crew. They have to drill the gas. Then they have to go store the gas. Then someone has to keep that and sell it on the market. Maybe they resell it 10 times. Then finally it gets into a gas tanker that comes to your gas station and it gets into your car. Think about all those different steps in the value chain. There's all these people in the chain that take a small piece. There's only one NVIDIA. Only one company has the best oil. Well, there's only one person selling gas in the market. And the supply constraint starts there. From the chip to then the rack to then ultimately the inference provider to then these guys created their own models and then they're leasing the model to you. And these guys bought all the chips. There's no chips to buy anymore for anybody. And they have back ordered all of them. And we're at the end of it. We're at somewhere at the end of it just being like, can I get like, and now they're even saying you can pay for codecs, but you only have 5 hours. It's so constrained. And now everybody's finding creative ways to deal with the supply constrained environment. And as a business, that's what you have to do. Because right now this is oil. This is like, we're moving from printing press to like electronic phone. We're moving from landline to 5G. If you have the 5G, you are now 3 times faster than your competitor. But the way to find this is not equally distributed. Like the knowledge is ultimately like, it's not well known how to do these things and it's changing very rapidly.